Good evening, and welcome to A Grieving Mother's Journey, Leakland, where we air every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with open mic every third Sunday from 6:20 to 6:50 p.m. We bring grieving mothers together to share, trust, and bond with one another, and to spread awareness of the pain that is caused when others choose to take a life by violence, and the various struggles we face on a daily basis just to make it through the day. I hope that this will make those that are on that horrible path think twice and turn their lives around. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for another episode of A Grieving Mother's Journey, episode 28, and it's called Let's Talk. So I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here on the group page. So if you will bear with me for just one moment, I really need to get this going. So hold tight for just one moment, okay? Thanks. Okay, people, I am so sorry. I'm not sure what's going on. I should have known in the beginning there was issues posting to the group page, and I'm having some issues tonight, but we're going to keep it moving. I'll post it in the group page later when we're done, and I'll figure it all out later. But anyway, welcome you guys. Thanks for joining me. Um, so basically, I just came on and I titled it Let's Talk. It's kind of like an open mic, but I wanted to focus on um, those that are telling us when to stop grieving. So if you are one of those that have been dealing with that, I would love to have you call in. Phone number is scrolling at the bottom. Or just go ahead and leave a comment um, on um, what those are saying, about stopping the grief process. And 9 times out of 10, it's coming from those that are not experiencing what we are experiencing. And that's okay. Um, because those that are not experiencing it, they don't really know what to say. So we can't really hold them accountable. But what we can do is educate them. In this episode, this is what it's about. We're going to educate them on, how to kind of navigate that through those that are experiencing the loss of a child. Um, and of course, anything else that you want to bring to the table is always welcome. 571-409-3400. Just give us a call. Speak your piece. Um, Especially those, if you have any type of advice that you can give to those, I think that it would be really helpful, especially to those that really want to be able to be there and really want to be able to say something encouraging, but just don't know what to say. Um, as we all know, grief from the loss of a child, there's no time limit. There's just isn't. There's no time limit. And granted, some of us can make it through, in a few, the first three years or so, and that's good, right? But some of us might be 10 years, 15 years in, and we just cannot grasp the thought that our child is gone. Um, some of us lash out, and number one here, I'm a victim of that. Um, I've lashed out many times on social media. Not too proud of it, but at the same time, that's how I feel at the time. There's no regrets. Don't get me wrong. I don't regret for expressing how I feel. But some of the lashing out can be a little over the top for some of us. And those of you that are going through it know what I mean. But again, at the time, that's how we feel, accept it or not, right? Um, but I would really like to educate those that have not been through it but want to be there for those that are going through it. So I want to educate you um, on that. So I guess it's kind of like, oh, it's been a minute now. You should be over it. Get over it. Most famous words, get over it. Well, I'm here to tell you that those of us that have lost a child will never get over it, ever. Um, with time, it softens a little bit, but please know that a grieving mother or father will never, ever, ever get over it. Reason being is moms, we carried that child for 9 whole months. We carried that child in our body. We created that child in our body for 9 months. Then comes the labor and delivery. Excruciating. Anyone that can relate, all you moms can relate. Excruciating. But when it's over, it's joy. All that pain that we went through during labor and delivery, it's gone. It disappears. Even though we remember later, but at that time, it's gone. All we experience is joy. There's a whole new life that's been brought into this world. And it's because us moms, now I'm not going to exclude you dads. Of course, you had something to do with it. But the growth of that life was in our body. That bond of that new life and that growth is in our body. So after the birth and the late nights, playing doctor when they're sick, playing psychologist when they have issues as they're growing up, just being a mom, being a chef to cook their favorite meals, um, being that best friend. Yeah, there's a difference between a parent and a best friend, but they go hand in hand, right? Because being a best friend requires trust and it requires a bond. And we as moms, we create that trust and that bond with our child as they're growing up. And then for someone on the outside that had nothing to do with that birth of that child, that life of that child that was brought into this world, decides, oh, well, I'm going to decide when this child dies. It's just taken away. It's just taken away. So that grief, I can't give you words, because unless you've experienced it, I can't. There's no way possible that I could express to you what that grief is like, to go through all of that, making a child with love and allowing that child to grow inside your body, and then go through excruciating pain to bring that body to life in the world. And then to be there as that child grows, whether they're a baby, a teenager, a young adult, or an adult man or woman. We still went through a lot to bring that child in the world. And for someone to just decide that all of that was for nothing, it's heinous. It's heinous. But for those of you that don't know what to say, let me start with the wrong things to say. Number one, don't ever tell a grieving mom or dad that, oh, you have other kids to think about. Let me explain that. It has nothing to do with how we love or think about our other children. The bottom line is one is gone, especially if one is gone by violence and senselessly. That's very hurtful. Don't ever say that. Number two, get over it. How about how about we get our child back and God takes yours? How about that? Then you can come back and say to us, get over it. I can guarantee you that those words will never come out of your mouth. Because until you have experienced the loss of a child, don't say anything. If you're not sure that it's going to be helpful, don't say anything. And this is not to, Joan, or put the hammer on anyone's head, because we get it as grieving moms and dads. We do get it. We understand that you haven't been through it, so you wouldn't know what to say, and we get it. So that's why we're here tonight, to tell you what not to do and then what to do. So, number 3, your child is in a better place now. Stop it. Again, it goes back to number 2. How about God takes yours and gives me mine back? Then you can say that. So those are the top 3 things that you should never, ever, ever say. Please keep in mind those things, even though you might feel that you're trying to help, you're not. It's extremely hurtful. Don't say that. Last but not least, number 4. Sometimes we say things in the heat of the moment, whether it be to others, to ourselves on social media. Please keep in mind that that is how we are feeling right now. Anger. Anger sometimes consumes us. Please remember that. Just we're grieving moms and dads. That doesn't make us less human at all. We're just as human as you are. And I can guarantee you that if the situation were reversed, you do the same thing. Even if you're one that doesn't put it out there on social media, trust me, you're going to do it. So I just want you guys to keep in mind that there's loss everywhere, there's grief everywhere, and everybody grieves differently. But the loss of a child, and again, I think I've said this before, it's not taking away from any other loss. But I can say this because I've lost a mom, I've lost a dad, I've lost a niece, I've lost a brother, I've lost aunts, I've lost uncles, and I lost a son. And they were all different. Now there were two that I could say that affected me majorly. And again, it's not to take away from any other loss, but until you've lost all of the above, you're not going to understand the difference. There's a difference. My brother was the beginning of a major loss for me. 4 or 5 years later, I'm dying inside. That hit me to the core, to the point where I was in my car one night and I had my firearm. And I had to call my child to come get it. Because I had been grieving so long that I just couldn't take it anymore. But then I lost my child, I lost my son. And it doesn't dismiss my brother, but it's kind of like one grief. Now there's this grief. It took over this grief. It's something that I never experienced before. I never, ever want to experience again. I think that the loss of a child, especially to gun violence or violently or senselessly, is the ultimate loss. Ultimate. So if there's anyone out there that's listening, and if you have any healthy advice for those about how to gently approach or speak to a grieving mom or dad after losing a child, please chime in. 571-409-3400. Even if you are not a parent that lost a child, siblings, okay? Siblings is another one. Even though it's still a little different, it's still major. And I think a sibling can relate a little more than someone on the outside. You probably haven't heard the words, oh, you have more children. Of course, you probably haven't. But siblings are the closest to a parent that's lost a child. The suffering is there, some worse than others. But let's talk. Let's talk. Um, I would love to hear from those um, that have lost and that can offer any advice, or if you've just had an experience of, um, losing a child. I know my Dr. Pam Reese. We did do an episode on this a while back, like when I first started, and she had a few things to say. She experienced um, horrific feedback from those that were friends that said some things that shouldn't have been said. I love you, Cousin Pam. For those of you that are maybe just chiming in or new to the group or to the YouTube page, um, my cousin Pam um, has a son, Paul, and her son and my son um, basically passed away within a few weeks. Um, she lost her son to suicide, and I lost my son to murder. So we can relate a lot. A child is still a child, no matter how you lose them. And we both kind of went through that, oh, get over it type thing, or, you still have other children, things like that. So she did appear on the show a couple of times. I appreciate that. Um, and don't forget, it's not just gun violence, suicide. We have domestic violence, things like that. Fentanyl, we all have a loss one way or the other. But the bottom line is the death of a child is excruciating. I still suffer. It'll be 3 years, March 15th, 2025. It'll be 3 years. And although I feel like I have a little bit of progress, amen, alhamdulillah, it's still hard. And I still suffer. I still have bad thoughts. I still go through good days and bad days. But speaking of good days, this past Christmas was my first Christmas in over 2 years that I was able to smile, have happy feelings, and actually host and participate. Um, for those of you that know me, um, prior to that, I've always been, the big mama, had everything at the house. I always did Christmas and Thanksgiving and celebrated, did all the cooking, family gatherings that just meant so much. Not to mention to me, but Malik, he just loved being around family. Like that was his thing. Even if it was just he and I and Najee, his sister, would be at home, and he'd want to do like a family night with popcorn. He just loved being around family. He loved his siblings. So back to Christmas. Um, it was amazing. Hi, Riley. Hi, fat boy. It was amazing. Um, everything that I received was awesome. But there's a couple I just want everyone to know about. I didn't really post it on Facebook. I haven't kind of got around to that, but I so appreciate it. But listen, I gotta show you guys something. If you guys ever wanna think about something to give a grieving mother or dad, let me tell you something. If you have video of anything of the child that the mom or dad lost, listen, go to Build-A-Bear. It's amazing. So this is my Build-A-Bear. Oh, sorry. So My son loved jeans. He got his little jeans on, right? He liked his hoodies. Okay. And of course, there's two things in life he really loved: basketball, video games. That's a little accessory. But so here's the thing. There was a couple of videos that we were able to capture. And I want you to listen to one. That's his laugh. So when I'm down, that laugh always made me smile. It was, his laugh is just happiness that came out of him. And then there was a video. He hung up with a friend, and she picked him up one day from the house where he died from. And this video was captured, and you can hear his voice. He said, "Why are you flexing like that? What's up, though?" So this will forever be by my side. Sometimes I take him with me on a ride, and I put him up, and he'll be cruising. But he goes with me everywhere. So, if you're thinking about something to give a grieving mom or dad, this is awesome, you guys. It's something that they can hold on to forever, take with them anywhere. And from what I understand, you get something like, 3,000 of the hits on it. And if it dies, you can take it back to Build-A-Bear, and they'll replace the battery. You can be there from the beginning to end and fill it up how you want it filled up. You can pick the accessories, the outfits, the whole thing. So awesome gift. Keep that in mind. So the next gift I got was, let me get this. Is this one. Something else that it's a forever gift. The candle inside never burns out. It's not it's lit, but it's not like a fire candle. So you can leave it burning all night. You can put it outside wherever you want it. And it says, "Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day. Unseen, unheard, but always near. Still loved, still missed, and very dear." And as you can see in the front, so the Cardinals are like amazing. I never really paid attention to Cardinals until my son passed. And, they say, when, the Cardinals there, a loved one is near. My son is, "Can you please let her out? She's driving me crazy. Thank you." But this is awesome. I leave it burning as much as possible. I'm trying not to burn out the batteries. But it's so amazing. I love it. And last but not least, there's another one. Old fashioned, old school. For her to stop. This one. Again, a snow globe. Now, I'm not going to tell my age, but I know some of you out there know about the snow globe. But look inside. Look at that. They beautiful. Cardinals. So that's just 3 of the amazing gifts I got. But those 3, are sentimental. So I wanted to, bring that on. And if anyone out there, you know someone that loves cardinals or things like that. Those are perfect gifts. So anyway, it's 6:32. I kind of want to get back to what to say, what not to say. Um, and again, this is to educate those that want to be there but just don't know what to say. Again, we're not downing you, but education is needed, um, because some things that are said are so hurtful. And just allow that. So I'm going to go ahead and suggest a couple things, like, um, if you don't know what to say, it's best to say one of two things: say nothing and just be there, or two, be there and just say, I'm sorry, I'm here for you, right? You can't go wrong with that. Um, is there anyone out there that has had family or friends just kind of fall off, after a little while? Um, Chime in. So while we're doing this really quick, I do need to check. I am so sorry. I've been so involved with this. I haven't checked the comments. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. So we have a lot of comments. So I'm going to take a few minutes to go ahead and read those comments. Um, so Kay, my number one fan, next to Crystal. She's also your admin, Kay, and I know. Also, your admin, Kay Purnell, is your admin, as well as Crystal Archer. Crystal says, "Hey, Miss Shani, hey, how you doing, Mama? I haven't seen you or talked to you in a minute. You just disappeared on us, sister." Nah, no, you know. Tina, what's up, Tina? She says you look so good. Whew, thank you, child. I'm trying, but trust me, I have my days. I know you already seen me on my bad days, my good days. Um, Kay says, right, she popping the 19. I wasn't trying to, but hey, I appreciate it, because boy, I'm telling you, some days, woof, chow. I can't come on here because I be looking rough neck. Crystal, there's your admin, Crystal. Amen. Yes, she looks amazing. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Um, and then Kay says, same for siblings. People may think because we're not the parent, our healing should be sped up. On point. That's the point I was trying to make. Um, Definitely never even say that to a sibling. Um, Grief is grief, and there's no time limit. So each person has to grieve as long as they need to grieve. Period. As I would say, period, Pooh. Cousin Rose. What's up, Mama? Thank you for joining. Um, she says this even having to be a topic is crazy to me. How can you tell someone how and when they should grieve? Exactly. Exactly. You can't, unless you have gone through it yourself. You can't. You can't tell someone how to grieve, because again, I know grief is grief, but it's on an individual basis. Again, there's some moms that's just going through it just recently, a few years in, 10, 15 years in. But each is different, each is personal. And people have to grieve in their own time. And guess what? Everyone outside of that, you have to respect that. Period. And if you don't belong in that person's life. Keep it moving. Um, and then Kay says people are inconsiderate because they don't get it until it happens to them. Ding 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 ding. Absolutely. Now I pray that those that haven't experienced it, well, I pray you never have to experience it. But if you do, trust and believe, you're going to come back to this, because you're going to know exactly what we're saying. Kay also says, it's so true how they are different. Never thought it got worse than losing my dad. Oh, yes. But losing my brother was a pain I've never, ever felt. Oh, my God. Kay, yes. Yes. And even the loss of your dad um, hurt me to the core. Your dad was my very first love, and I was his too. Yes, yes, I was. He even said so on his deathbed. I love you, Johnny. Mwah. Yeah. So, but and that hurt. Like, even though we weren't together, we had actually talked about getting back together prior to that. Um, so the love was real. My first love, and always my love. And but yeah, it's different. It doesn't mean that your grief for your dad meant anything less than the grief of your brother, but it's different. Period. Bottom line, it's different. um Brenda Nava, hi. um Thank you for joining. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And Brenda Nava says, my son was murdered January 26th of 2024. Oh, Brenda. So yeah, gosh, that was less than a year ago. Um, Murder is the loss of a son by murder is unexplainable, and I think it's probably more excruciating. Um, I think if there was a child that maybe was sick and you were going through it, and you were there, it's not less intense. But I think the fact that when you have a child that you have time to say goodbye to, time to say just talk with, and time to do things with before they go home, versus something that happens out of the blue, unexpected. You don't get that chance to say goodbye. You don't get that chance to say the things that you've always wanted to say if you haven't already. That's a pain that settles with us on our heart, right? I know you can relate, Brenda. Um, so Brenda, if you have ever dealt with anyone that has basically told you to speed up your grief, or if you have other children, things like that, please share with us. Please share what you think. Those educate, help me educate other people. Feel free to call in. If not, it's okay. I get it. No worries. No, this is a no judgment, no pressure zone. No judgment, no pressure zone. Remember that is our motto at A Grieving Mother's Journey. No judgment, no pressure zone. Okay. Um, and Julissa says to you, so sorry for your loss. Mwah. Thank you, Julissa. She is my amazing daughter-in-law's mother. She's family. Yes. Okay, Brenda. She also says, my daughter took me to the movies and told me she wanted to wear the memorial shirt, but didn't because she didn't want to make me sad. And that made me sad. Listen, um, for those of you that are out there, we love it when people talk about our child, especially if they have like funny memories to share, or just the love. you know um Stop being afraid to do that. First of all, it lets us know that the memory of our child is not just with us, but it's with others. Stop being we're fragile, but we're not that fragile. In fact, that uplifts us. So don't be afraid to talk about a grieving mother's or a grieving dad's child. We love that. It makes us smile, especially if you have something funny or something good to share. We love that. It makes us smile. So you're giving us therapy. So and if it's especially if it's another child, um not being worried about making the mom or dad upset, then that's where the talking comes in. Don't be afraid to come to your mom or dad. Say, hey, you know listen to what their feelings, listen to what they want. That makes all the difference in the world. um um And Brenda says, oh, I love that idea. My daughter has a voice clip of my son telling her daughter, good night, I love you. Oh, my Brenda, that's awesome. That's awesome. Build a bear, please. That's a forever gift. You can't go wrong with that. And it's just amazing. I mean, you know sometimes it's not always just a sad moment. It's just, I just want to hear my son's voice, and I'll just play it. I took it to work the other day. I have an amazing staff. I have a great assistant and a great resident specialist, and I brought it in for them just so they could hear. My resident specialist, she's she's so what is the word I'm looking for, like, sensitive. Like, she just cries at everything, but she's so adorable. And I played it and she just loved it. So you can share that with people. um Kay says, lock Riley and Sadie up, they loud. Yeah, I know they were, but they missed each other. It's all good. And Millie Mill, my niece, Camille, a grasp of air you can no longer breathe. Oh, wow. Like, wow, Camille. Um, I couldn't have put it any better. And for those of you that don't know Millie Mill, Camille is my niece. She is my brother's child. She lost her dad, my brother, on her birthday. And then I think it was, what, Camille, a couple of years later, her sister, which is my niece. So yeah. And Brenda Nava says, thank you, Jaleesa. Diamond says, I love that for you, Ma. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. And Kay, Millie Mill, literally, yes. Like a grasp of air you can no longer breathe. That needs to be, we need to trademark that, because that's like, that really explains it. And then Kay says, I've had people in my life that I really expected to be there way more. But I learned losing my brother that people just ain't who they thought they were. Amen.
Preach.
Amen. Preach, like Moody's. Preach. Yes, sir. Like, before that happens, you got those with you. Oh, you my girl, you this, you that, blah, 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 blah. But when it happens, they might be there a couple of times, but then it's sporadic, right? And again, on their behalf, it might be because they don't really know what to say. But at the same time, that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. If you are A1 from day one, figure it out. You got to figure it out. Because after that, you dog food. We're not dealing with you, because that is the worst time to not be around. The worst time. And if you were that A1 from day one, you're going to be there to the end. Period.
Pooh.
Period, Pooh. So Julissa says, facts, KK. That's why we hold on to the real ones. Yes, mamas. Nah. Yes. Everyone wants to be like, I'm real. I'm a real this. I'm a real that. Prove it. Because real is not always about being there during the good times. When you are really real, you're there through everything, everything, everything. So nice comment, y'all. Awesome, awesome. So it is 6:47. I'm waiting for Moody to make these kebabs. I've got the shrimp on the stove, getting ready to saute some shrimp. And there's going to be shrimp on the kebabs. And I made my famous macaroni salad. So Yayo and Crystal. Oh, And I can't forget my grandbaby Valerie. She don't text me, I don't know how many times. It's ready, y'all, for the macaroni salad. I love y'all. But anyway, I would love to get a phone call before we call it a night. It's 647 571 409 3400. I would love to hear from somebody. I would love it if you have maybe something we haven't talked about that someone has told you, along with some, advice on, healthy advice on what you can give to others. Again, this is also not to down those that have said things they shouldn't have said, but to educate you, so that you can take that and maybe, make things better. But again, so a couple more minutes, guys. 571 409 3400. Call in, call in, call in. Anyway, so I've enjoyed this time, and I've enjoyed the comments. Thank y'all so much. I'm really upset that this isn't working on the Facebook group page, but it happened before, y'all, and I had it together, got it going for a long time, but I'll get it fixed, y'all. But in the meantime, this is why I also have YouTube, so that anyone from the group can go on over to YouTube and view it when things like this happen with good old Facebook. That's why I keep it. And again, on my personal page, but of course I keep the group and the personal page separate. But I hope oh, Kay says Brian is watching from the group. Really? Oh, that's awesome. It's showing me that it's not working. Wow, I really hope it is. Diamond is too?
No, she tried it, but it wasn't.
Oh, okay. So you know what, Kay? Maybe Brian's watching from my personal page. Because it's showing me that it's not on the group page. But all is well. Hey, Brian. Brian. That's what Najee says all the time. Every time she says, everybody loves Brian. Brian. That's what she called him. And then, of course, my infamous grandbaby, the little one, Uncle Baby. Uncle Baby, are you watching, Uncle Baby? All right, y'all. So it's 6:50. I know it's let's see. Hey, oh, Brian. He says, LOL, Mama. I love you. I love you. Good to hear from you. Thank you for joining us. Yes. So we have like 10 minutes left, y'all. And I'm just waiting on my kebabs. Moody, I'm gonna need you to hurry it up. Listen, can I tell y'all? Moody made these kebabs on the grill last night. Woo, chow. I told her we need to sell some plates. It was so good. It literally melted in your mouth, like literally. That on top of, I did make some rice, my favorite rice. But when I made the macaroni salad and when I tasted those kebabs, I didn't even touch the rice. The macaroni salad and the kebabs hitting y'all. But anyway, so if we decide to do plates, we'll let y'all know. $12 a plate, y'all. But it'll come with some rolls.
I want to give some advice.
Oh, okay. So we have Moody. She wants to come on and give some advice. We love that. Come on in. Oh, here. My other one. I haven't set it up yet, but here you go. Here, sit down.
What's up, y'all?
Sit down.
I know I'm y'all's favorite for real, but I just wanted to get on real quick because, like my mom said, I'm cooking. But so one thing I realized when my mom was talking and I was listening about how you can be there for someone when they're grieving, and if you don't know what to say, this is how you can like learn. So I mean, I always was a good person that people like to talk to. Like people used to always come to me for like advice about a lot of things and stuff like that. But when it comes to grieving, this is like my first like crucial. I've had like my uncle pass, my cousin pass, like my grandmother passed, stuff like that. But that one hit home because it was my younger brother, so it was a lot deeper. So I took the grieving process way deeper than I did for the rest of my family members. But what I did learn, I actually just learned this yesterday. That's why I'm trying to speak on it now while it's fresh and it's good, healthy advice. Because although you guys all know I lost my brother, my fiance just recently lost her mom. So when it comes to like us trying to be there for each other while we're grieving, it's like one thing that I learned is that me and her try to like not say things that triggers each other within our griefs because hers is more fresh and mine is still obviously affecting me. So one thing that I am learning is that when I don't know what exactly to say, so that way it doesn't make her feel like me talking about her mom makes it hard for me, is that I just give her love.
Amen.
Love is a really really strong language. It's a really good healthy language if you're using it the right way.
Amen.
Let me put it to you like that. But
Yeah.
I learned it yesterday. When she got to talking about her mom, and then I don't know if she just thought that something she said triggered me, because then I started like having a little moment to myself, and she noticed that. But one thing that I noticed is that when we were both doing it, it was like all we did was just love on each other. We didn't really have to say too much,
Amen.
And we were both able to go through that together. So if you don't know what to say, if you're in that situation where you have a loved one, or it don't even have to be a partner, like if you just love somebody dearly and y'all are both grieving, and then y'all have that little moment where y'all don't know what to say to each other, or like you don't know how to be there for each other, just a hug. A hug goes a long way.
Amen.
Give that person a hug. And then it was just me and her are goofy, so we gave each other that hug, and then we started like goofing around about like what we do to each other that irritates us, and then we changed the subject, and then we kept it moving. But I wanted to get that out just in case it does help some of y'all out there that have already been through it, or if you haven't, then now you know how to approach it when it does come up, because it works, and it's a healthy outcome. It's not a bad outcome.
Mhm.
So from my perspective, if you guys are in that position and you don't know, what to say or do, just get hug. Trust me, that hug, don't say
Goes
nothing.
a long way.
You don't gotta cry while you're hugging that person. Just give that person a hug and simply say I love you, and then that's it. And then the mood will change, and it'll get better. The sun will come out the clouds, and then you take a shot or whatever, and then you go about your business. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. I'm gonna hurry up and finish cutting these kebabs so I can put them on the grill. I love y'all.
Thank you, Moody. That was awesome. Sorry, guys. I usually have 2 headphones set up, but I got a new computer with like multiple screens or whatever, so I haven't really finished everything. And speaking of that, Crystal, I'm gonna need you to come over here and help me with this third one. So
bring that ass here,
bring that ass here, boy. But yes. And then Kay says Brister, and Diamond says I love you. So this was an awesome episode. And I'm so glad that y'all joined us. I'm really sad that I didn't get on the group page, but I'll post it on there and I'm going to get it together. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope somebody out there was educated tonight. And we'll come back. And quick announcement, I am looking for others to come on and share their story. Again, no judgment, no pressure zone, but trust me and believe me when I say it's therapeutic. It does help when you talk about your child. So, if you're interested, please hit me up. Send me an email. It's scrolling at the bottom. agmj.51522@gmail.com. Don't forget the dot. It stands for A Grieving Mother's Journey, .51522, which is the death anniversary of my son. So just hit me up, or you can, send me a DM through the group chat. Not the group chat, well, on the group. If you're interested. Oh, Moody, Brenda says, thank you, Moody. My daughter lost her brother in January. Her fiance lost his brother recently. Good advice. Thank you. Brenda, you are awesome. Awesome. I'm glad that this was able to help you. And, anytime you're ready, we would love to have you come on the platform with me. and just talk about your beautiful angel. We would love to hear more. We do have a chat, don't forget, in the group page. It's specifically just for siblings. Not many has utilized it, but it's there for just siblings to talk to one another. Their grief is different and they can kind of relate to one another. So please have your daughter join it if she'd love to. We also have done a couple episodes, Siblings Speak. We might have another one coming up. We actually had a part 1 and part 2 because of high demand, where siblings speak with one another. So we're so happy that you joined us. We would love to have you back. We do come on every week, Sundays, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The group is private. It does show in the group private, but we do have our YouTube as well. Please subscribe to the channel. You can go back. You can see if you're in the group already. There's past videos or past podcasts in the group. You can view it anytime you want. Pause, come back later, what have you, as well as on YouTube. Thank you, Brian. My son says, good show. Thank you, Brian. Love you. Okay, y'all. So just a couple minutes early, but I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you again, guys. I really appreciate you joining us. Have a good night. Love y'all. Well, lovely people, we are signing off. I hope you enjoyed our episode this week. Be sure to tune in next Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And remember, no matter how old or how young, our children will forever be our babies. We just have one with wings. Be gentle with yourself and take all the time you need to heal. Thanks for joining. Good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining.